Global mobility is a lot of things, but at the core, it's moving people from one country to the other and helping them grow, whether it's in their careers or as a person, experiencing a whole other culture and growing professionally and personally.
The relationship between HR and mobility is absolutely essential and critical, and it's been something that in my career I've really advocated in keeping that connection. Sometimes it's requiring, being the one to actually knock on doors and break down those barriers. But it's absolutely critical that we are really a one HR, and we're working really closely together, and we understand what programs and strategies are putting in place and the impact that might have on employees that fall under the global mobility policy. So I think continuing to really strengthen those relationships is critical. I'm thinking about the recruitment organization and how important it is to work with them as they're trying to find talent around the world, and helping them understand the immigrations or the implications and the limitations from an immigration perspective, and trying to get those candidates, particularly in a current coronavirus environment, and probably for a number of months still to come. So it's really important that we're in really tight connection and understand what's happening from a recruitment perspective. Obviously with payroll, as we're trying to set up individuals working remote from new locations, ensuring that we have payrolls in place in those new locations and countries is also really critical, as well as really not just connecting and very closely staying in touch with the broader HR community, but I think other departments and teams outside of HR. And one that comes to mind really closely is the risk and security teams, as well as the tax team.
So we are the support structure to the business to enable them to achieve their day-to-day activities as well as their long-term strategic goals. We do this by identifying the feasibility of a relocation, consulting with them to build up an ideal package for an individual based on their circumstances, based on the business needs, ensuring that it is within the business's budgets. And by doing this, we're enabling the business to get their key talent to the right locations at the right time.
It's interesting when we think about how global mobility will evolve in the future, because there's what everyone's talking about these days, Gen AI. How are we leveraging technology to manage our program and our processes? But I think the beauty about global mobility is, my true answer is, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to evolve. And that's what makes it exciting and new and fresh every day. All of a sudden, at some point, Cuba is open and we can send people to Cuba. And now I have to learn how to do that. Or all of a sudden, a war breaks out somewhere and we have to deal with whatever repercussions come with that. Or maybe there's a new head of state that has been elected in a certain country, and we have to deal with the ramifications that come with that. So it will be very interesting to see. I do think change is happening at a rapid pace, but one thing we can be sure of is that there will always be change and always new things to learn.
The relationship between HR and global mobility is a critical one. It is really depends on the company, but where I have been is a part of HR, and it is an extension of each HR team. HR is a big organization. It has it from recruiting to HR business partner to employee relations to HR operations. Each of the functions has some type of dependency with global mobility. So although we are not touching the entire organization populations, but it is deeply embedded into every HR function. And multiple businesses?
Well, I mean, I can only speak, I guess, for the organisations I work for and work with, but there is absolutely an immense level of respect for any subject matter expertise, whether it be mobility or it be another area of HR, or there is a subject matter expertise brought to the table. I think generalist HRs, practitioners have a really great level of respect for those subject matter expertise. And they really find value in the fact that they are underpinned and supported by that. It depends really, I guess, on the model of the organisation and how that relationship works. But certainly for me, in my current role, I have a very good and close working relationship with my my HR business partners or my HR managers, and even, the HR director I have a very good relationship with. And the expertise and the advice and the recommendations that I bring are well received and carried forward through to the business.
It's my view that global mobility can't act in isolation. When somebody moves, from the perspective of that person being the employee, there's a lot of moving parts to their relocation or their move. So for instance, when they move, their payroll changes. And sometimes there's certain things we have to make sure that are happening smoothly, because if it doesn't, then the employee sees it as a result of their relocation. So for my team, we would make sure we have very good relations with our payroll department, be communicative, and make sure we're working together to make sure the whole experience of the relocation happens smoothly. We very much team up with other parts of human resources in my own company. So we have to keep good relations with them because we can't do anything alone, whether it be dealing with payroll or benefits or pensions. Everything is related. So it is really important to have very good relations with other HR stakeholders and departments within your own company.
So I think that global mobility is already evolving, and I'm excited about it. I think that we are the function that helps mobilize talent, and the evolution that we're seeing is we're really more part of the overall talent strategy of the organization, which is so exciting because I think historically we were an afterthought. We were the logistics. We moved the people, but now we're really embedded in what is the overall talent strategy and how do we use mobility to enable that strategy. So I already see it evolving and I'm really excited about it.
That relationship has been evolving, let's put it this way. And I think 2020 has been determinant into the evolution of the relationship. We always had a pull and push relationship with HR because we overlap in a number of areas, right? They select, they do the talent selection, they do the succession planning, they hand over the strategy or the planning to global mobility for us to execute, right? And sometimes you see they position themselves as the decision makers and we are the executors. However, 2020, how does that shift is that we see the shift from COVID creating a whole series of uncertainties into their plan. There was no way we could just execute the plan and they put it together because the plan is based on known uncertainties for them. They are used to a certain landscape, there is a business strategy in place, but external factors is not going to allow us to move that forward. We then progress into a collaborative relationship where we partner together to look at what is needed by the business, what is needed from each one of us in order to execute the same plan. And we had a say about what goes into the plan. So it's an evolution, and it's an evolution that I'm pretty sure all of my counterparts in the area of global mobility is working hard at maintaining and trying to keep in place post COVID-19 and into the future as well, because it has many advantages. We are all on board, we define the plan together, we know of each other's resources, of each other constraints at the moment, and that creates efficiency rather than frustrations and delays in the plan, or it seems as a non-collaborative relationship.
Global mobility to the business is a great opportunity to expand the diversity within their teams, bring talent not only for the pool of the own country but also from abroad, to make sure it can actually also be a tool of reward, to make sure talent are satisfied and talents are trained to the extent of other departments or other areas as well, not only in the same country but in other branches, other areas of the business and the world as well. So sometimes it's considered as a cost, but I think that the return on investment is much higher than the actual cost of assignment.